Welcome to the Halftime Show, your world of sports in half the time. I'm Colton the Bias, and joining me today is Matthew Cass, first time on the program. Matt, thank you so much for joining me today.
Hi, thank you for having me today, Colton.
Alrighty, Matt. So, folks, we are going to first start off by discussing the MLB postseason as the games started today, as 16 teams are currently competing for the World Series. So, Matt, I want to get your thoughts on this. Who do you think is the favorite to get the title this year?
Ooh, the favorite is a hard question, but looking into the AL, I'm a big fan of the Yankees. As that happens, they're not hapless. J.A. Happ has been pitching well, along with Masahiro Tanaka and former Pirate Garrett Cole. On fire is Luke Voit with 22 home runs. DJ LeMahieu is hitting .364 in nearly 200 plate appearances. And they still have Giancarlo Stanton and Aaron Judge coming off the bench to help strengthen that lineup. Who do you like in the AL, Colton?
Well, I don't know, Matt. First off, the Yankees are actually starting off tonight against the Cleveland Indians in the wild card series. I think I like the Tampa Bay Rays in the AL. They were the top team in the AL with 40 wins and 20 losses. They made it to the playoffs last year, but they lost in the divisional round, I believe, to the defending AL champions in the Houston Astros. But Matt, I want to get back to that Yankees pick because the Yankees finished 33-27 in the regular season. Does that give you any pause about them?
It does give me some hesitance, but to be honest, it doesn't give me as much hesitance as the Tampa Bay Rays lineup only having one hitter hitting over 300 with over 100 plate appearances. The postseason is a little strange this year. I know going back as a Pirate fan, you can see the advantages of playing at home and having a raucous crowd really driving forward your fans, but this year I think it's going to be about experience, firepower, and the teams that have a lot of depth and have a lot of experience. And to be honest, have guys who have put up great numbers in the past. I think are going to have a great advantage going into this AL, and I just don't think that the Rays have those same players that the Yankees have.
Well, I guess we'll have to see, Matt. Oh, and also, not to mention, due to COVID-19, there were only 60 games this year compared to over the 150 plus they play in the regular season. Now, moving over to the NL, Matt, who do you like there? Because I want to like the Dodgers, but then again, they always bring me down every year.
It's hard not to like the Dodgers, to be honest. They have Clayton Kershaw. Two pitchers can win you any single series. You'll have one go game 1 and possibly game 5. You have the other go game 2, possibly game 6. It's going to win you a lot of World Series. You can see that with Randy Johnson and Curt Schilling. I like the Cubs. It's a little bit of a reacher, but I think that they're the kind of team that can build a momentum and score a lot of runs. Pitching is Yu Darvish is their ace. He's the guy who went with a 2.01 ERA over the course of 12 games started. Their second pitcher is, Kyle Hendricks. He has a 2.38 ERA over 11 games started, and he has a nearly 3-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio. That's another team that's going to put out pitchers and win a lot of games, even on the road.
Well, you like the Cubs, Matt, because I think the Cubs would be maybe the last team I would want to pick, but we are going to have to wait and see as the postseason started today, so it should be exciting. Coming up, we are going to be moving from the MLB postseason to the NBA Finals, as LeBron James and the Los Angeles Lakers are going up against his former team in the Miami Heat. Stick around.
Go to our new website, uview.plainpark.edu.
Go, 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 go.
Join UView and find your herd.
Be like, join EOP. And 3, 2. Join EOP.
Grab him now, or else I can listen.
Yeah.
Join On Point with Politics.
3, 2, 1.
Join Pioneer Sideline.
Welcome back, friends. As we mentioned, we are going to be discussing the NBA Finals now, as the Miami Heat are going to be going head-to-head against the Los Angeles Lakers. Now, Matt, can I take a guess who you want to win this series, knowing you're a Bucks fan?
Oh, you absolutely could take a guess who I wanted to win. But to be honest, I think that it's just a Cinderella story that's coming to an end. El Caliente had burned through the East. They took out my beloved Bucks. But I think that it's just a story of a better team with a better coach who's going to go in with better height and win a lot of games. Just like they defeated the Rockets, out-rebounding them, and the Nuggets, just out-physicaling them in the paint. The Lakers are too much for this Heat team to stand by. What do you think, Colton?
Well, Matt, I do think the Lakers are going to win this series, but I want to throw it back to you again, because did you feel that way about Milwaukee, knowing that they might have gone up against a better coach and a better team?
Well, it's hard. Not too many people are going to be better coaches than La GM. But Milwaukee was a case of a team that just underperformed in critical times. If you look at the numbers inside of the bubble, the Lakers had better shooters, the rebounding was better, and they had a better supporting role. Milwaukee had Giannis Antetokounmpo, who will once again won MVP and looking to win Defensive Player of the Year, but their supporting cast around him just failed. Chris Middleton failed to show up as a shooter, and when Giannis went down injured, his shooting percentage went down even though he put up points. I believe he averaged something along the lines of like 0.9 points per possession. The Lakers are just the type of team that's going to be able to eat up a Heat team. Bam Adebayo is their center, and he's essentially the only one who's going to stand in the paint against a JaVale McGee, Dwight Howard, Anthony Davis, and LeBron James forward and center combination. I do wish that the Heat would win. I think that they have a lot of tools and they have a lot of heart, but unfortunately in a 7-game series where physicality reigns supreme, it's going to be difficult for that young, inexperienced, championship-less Heat team to come out on top. I believe Eric Spoelstra is the only person in that organization who currently has a championship associated with them.
And that was when LeBron James was with the team when the Heat won back-to-back championships in 2012 and 2013. Now, but Eric Spoelstra should be Coach of the Year, in my opinion, because I think a lot of people weren't maybe counting the Heat to maybe go as far with the finals, because they were mediocre in some ways after LeBron left the team to go back to Cleveland, because they had a few playoff appearances here and there, but they were just never really able to maybe get that championship feeling that LeBron has known all too well as he is going into his 10th NBA Finals appearance. I believe. Don't quote me on that. Now, I do think the Lakers are going to win this series, but Miami's going to give them, I think, a run for their money, because they were hot in these playoffs in the bubble, as like you said, they beat Miami. No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't know what I'm talking about. They beat Milwaukee in the second round, and not to mention they also beat the Indiana Pacers. They swept them, and then they beat Milwaukee 4-1, and then they beat Boston 4-2. So, do you think, Matt, that Miami can give them a series?
I think that Miami will most certainly participate in the series. I think it's unfortunate that there aren't fans in the stands anymore. I believe in this thing called a gentleman's sweep. It's when you lose 2 road games, you win one of your home game and lose the other, and then you go back on the road and lose in 5. It's a little bit more savory than a sweep. But I think that Miami is just out of their league, and they'll come prepared. Colton.
Well, thank you for that analysis, Matt, but we are going to have to leave it there. And coming up, we are going to be talking about a Penguins trade that has upset a lot of fans. Stick around, don't go anywhere.
What's one word to describe CAB?
Welcoming.
Community.
Creative.
Experiences.
Family. Openness.
Pineapple.
The Campus Activities Board is a student-run organization that consists of 7 different committees. Each focuses on event planning, marketing, and administrative activities. Join us in organizing the juiciest events on campus, from late-night bingo to festive dances to our team bonding meetings. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Point Park Cap, or like us on Facebook at Campus Activities Board at Point Park University.
Good evening and welcome to Newsnight. I'm Josh Troop alongside Jess Paterchak.
Defending his decision to kick out 15 Cuban diplomats from the United States.
Thanks, Allison. Fitness on Demand has returned to Point Park.
Residents fear that Mount Agung will have a repeat of 1963's eruption.
Two-star NFL quarterbacks made the headlines this week after wrapping up.
Thank you so much for joining us this evening. That's your news tonight. For Nick Tomarello, I'm Alex Grubbs. Have a great night.
Welcome back. Well, it was a tough weekend for Penguins fans as Patrick Hornqvist was traded to the Florida Panthers in exchange for defenseman Mike Matheson and fourth-line winger Colton Savior. And according to a social media, a lot of Penguin fans were not happy about this trade. Matt, what did you think about it?
Oh, I live in a household that wasn't a very popular trade in either. But I think that Rutherford is a man who's won 3 Stanley Cups previously. He obviously knows what he's doing, and we have to wait and see what the Penguin picture is going to look like to begin the season. Patrick Hornqvist is a guy who's getting a little bit older. He's 33. His goal production has gone down, and his assist production has gone down, which obviously relates to his point production going down. His hits have gone down. He's 33 years old. He's a guy that could be moved to potentially move the Penguins forward. What do you think, Colson?
Well, Matt, over the reason, Rutherford tried to make his case for the trade because I think he understood that fans were not happy about them. And not to mention, Rutherford said he had nothing but great things to say about them. But Patrick Hornqvist felt blindsided about this. But here's what Penguins general manager Jimmy Rutherford had to say about the trade. And I quote, we talked about getting a younger team, and he wanted to make some changes. We had the chance to get a good young D-man and a high-skill player, and a right winger that is a good player and plays his role very well. So, Matt, does that maybe give you some comfort knowing that Rutherford, is so confident in knowing that this trade might pay off next season?
Yeah, I think that it's important that this trade pays off next season. I think that a lot of Penguin fans see the prime of our team slowly getting older. I'm sorry, the core of our team slowly getting older. We don't want to watch Malkin and Crosby go and not have more championships than we have and wish what could have been. I think that if the Penguins are going to make a move, it should be with the thought that the immediate future is our number 1 priority.
Yeah, I can agree with you there, Matt, because I think a lot of Penguin fans feel that the Stanley Cup runs might be running out of time, knowing Crosby and Malkin are still great players, don't get me wrong, but they are getting up there in age, and I think every once in a while, obviously a team is going to have to go back to rebuilding eventually, but we will have to see if the trade pays off for the Pittsburgh Penguins. Well, folks, that is going to do it for us today for this edition of the Halftime Show, your world of sports in half the time. I'm Colton the Bias.
And I'm Matthew Katz.
And we thank you for joining us, and we hope to see you right back here next week. Have a good night.